I'm not going to lie, Corey. I've been to Orlando a bunch of times. This might be one of the sweetest.
Because of this right here, baby.
Because
the Cheez-It Bowl. And look who won. This team right here. Get your commemorative editions of this Cheez-It Bowl box. Well, I guess you probably can't. This is just for us.
Now we're hawking Cheez-Its.
Yeah, sorry.
Florida State wins 35-32 against Oklahoma. A rare win against Oklahoma. A 10-win season.
Yeah.
Forces Oklahoma to a sub-500 season for the first time since 1998. A thrilling game. Not the prettiest game. You're going to do it, aren't you?
No, I'm not
I've been
dumping.
trying.
I'm
Please.
just eating.
Why won't you dump it?
I'm really eating.
Really, just a cool way to cap out the season, even though it wasn't a pretty game. Florida State wins 35-32 down here in Orlando. Camping World Stadium. Came from behind several times. The leads went back and forth.
Yeah.
But Florida State got it done.
And if you're wondering what's going on behind us, LSU and Purdue, I think, playing a game that won't be nearly as important or fun in a few days. So that's why they're cleaning the field, getting it ready. But yeah, man, it was a cool game, though.
Yeah,
like, you can say it was ugly. All right, you just beat Oklahoma. If you just told Florida State fans before the season, hey, you're going to beat Oklahoma in a bowl game after beating LSU and Florida and kicking
Clemson,
the dog crap out of Miami. You didn't beat Clemson. What's the matter with you? What year is this?
Miami.
It's not Clemson.
Florida, Miami, LSU, and Oklahoma.
Man, they would have taken that in a heartbeat. That was a fun game. It had everything you could want except a solid defense. But look, when Fabian Lovett isn't playing, that's the run defense you had every time Fabian Lovett didn't play. You get run on. Oklahoma had the 13th best run offense in the country. That's what they do. They're very good at it. Even though they didn't have a lot of starting linemen, their backup linemen are pretty good. It's Oklahoma. Their backup running backs are pretty good. It's Oklahoma. So you knew their offense was going to move the ball. The reason the game was close, in my opinion, was because the Florida State offense struggled in the first half. They played like Florida State in the second half. Jordan Travis is a superstar, a super duper star, a platinum star, whatever you want to say. He is one of the best players in college football. My man had 468 tonight in total offense. Come on, man. Come on, Jordan Travis.
Don't eat another bite while we're talking.
Why?
Nobody wants to hear you talking with your mouth full.
Shut up, Ira. Everybody does.
So, on the note of Jordan Travis and Johnny Wilson, I don't know. I guess Johnny Wilson felt disrespected, rightfully so. Oklahoma played him a lot of man coverage, even with a safety at times, which didn't work out real well for them.
Right.
And Johnny Wilson caught over 200 yards of passes, had the one drop, which we hate.
I don't even remember it, Johnny. I don't even remember what drop he's talking about. All I remember is the 8 grabs you had.
But not only 202 yards of pass receiving, but he also had just a huge one on that last drive that let them go ahead. 50 yards. He was well covered. It wasn't really open. Just went up and made a play. Sets up Ryan Fitzgerald. Ryan, dog, you knew he had it all the time.
Fitz magic, man. I believe in you. That's 2 game winners you've hit. That's 2 game winners. 2 out of 2, man. He doesn't miss game winners.
The thing about this game, though,
I might have not said great things about you during the course of the game, Ryan, but you crushed it there at the end, man. Good job.
Listen.
Never a doubt.
He never doubted you.
Yeah.
The thing about this game, though, from a micro level, was they had so many guys go down during this game. I mean, and again, there was a lot of talk coming into the game about Oklahoma coming in with some guys who opted out and all that. But Florida State lost, just about every starting defensive back other than Jamie Robinson missed most of this game, or a big chunk of this game. You had offensive linemen go down during the game. Robert Scott went down early in the second half. Jasmine Turnantine went down late. But whoever they plugged in just kept making plays.
How's that sound, Ira?
It's pretty good. I like it.
I think a cat just got run over.
But in the second half, man, Florida State dominated. They got the opening drive of the second half. They got a stop, which was huge. They got a stop to start the second half. Then they put together a 95-yard drive, 96-yard drive to take the lead. And from there, man, Florida State just kept responding. It was a great game, though. It was body blow from each team back and forth. But Florida State made enough plays down the stretch.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool that just like the Florida game, the defense did not play well for most of those games. But when it mattered, when the team, and look, 55 seconds is nothing for Oklahoma, even without timeouts. And you got to stop when you had to get the stop. The Shaheem Brown tackle on first down is huge because they had to rush to the line, and that created a false start, which created the 10-second runoff. Then there's a hold, and then there's a sack, and that's a wrap. That was really cool for Adam Fuller and his defense to end the season like that, getting the stop. And, man, it's just cool when you think about, and I wrote about this, the depths this program was at just 2 years ago, man. Really last year, 14 months ago, man. We were sitting outside Doak Campbell Stadium and you were welcoming all the opposing college football fans watching our Jacksonville State Wrap.
That's right.
Like, welcome to our show, because they wanted to see the misery up close. Well, now it's a 10-win football team. A year later, it's a 10-win football team and probably a top 10 team. Going into next year, you're probably a top 10 team. You have a legitimate Heisman candidate, and with who knows who coming back, and with the portal coming in, you're excited about this program again, man. This does not feel like a one-off. Right. I know these last couple of wins were dicey and could have gone either way. This feels like a 10-win football team,
right.
And I don't think that's going to change next year. It could be an 11 or 12-win team next year.
Yeah, and the players, it was clear that the players, the guys who have decisions to make or haven't announced what their future plans are, we're not going to do that tonight.
He's revving back up, man.
So
he's coming at us.
Jamie Robinson said he's going to take a few days to make a decision. Jared Verse didn't really seize the opportunity to say anything about his future.
Right.
Johnny Wilson did say we're just getting started, talking about Florida State, which was positive. Jordan Travis, who's already said he's coming back, had some really strong things to say about the future. But, you know, from the big picture standpoint, and you and I were talking when we were coming down to the press conference after the game about how much does this game really mean? I think it means a lot, not because it's a huge deal to beat a 6-6 Oklahoma team, although beating Oklahoma is significant. It's the fact that what it would have meant if you lost it. It just would have taken some of the shine off of what they accomplished this season. It would have taken some of just the luster off of it. But it's kind of the best case scenario, and I think I mentioned this to Gene and Tom on their post game reaction show. It's kind of the best case scenario because you got the win, but you can't feel too good about yourself.
Right.
Like they know that there's a lot of work to do going into that season opener against LSU right here at that same. Maybe we won't go back to Tallahassee.
We're just staying here. Home. I love O-Town, man. I love like weird amusement parks and all the chain restaurants in the world. It's a cool place, man.
It's awesome.
Yeah, man, that's a good point. They do. There's nothing. They haven't arrived yet, man.
You can't feel like, oh, we're just rolling into next season.
Right. And like, here's the thing: is like Norvell talked after the game, and he means it. It was this team wasn't just likable. He didn't want it. It's just not because they reached a number.
Right.
It's because of how they played that they were so beloved, and it's the truth. Because look, man, there have been 24 other teams in Florida State history that have reached that number. That's not special. It's Florida State, man. You are not at UTEP. So 10 wins is not how we judge football teams, except in the context of the last 5 years and what we went through and how hard this team played, having to win 6 games in a row to get to 10 wins, and that's exactly what they did, man. 4 of them were blowouts. They were just way better. And the other 2, they really had to fight tooth and nail. They got behind in the second half in both those games and came back and won, man. That's a testament to this team. It's certainly a testament to what Norvell has built. But also, like you said, and I wrote in the column, this team needed a ribbon on it. It needed a bow on this season, and that's what this was.
Right.
It's a Cheez-It Bowl, man. It's a Cheez-It Bowl. We love Cheez-Its, but it's the Cheez-It Bowl. We got bigger goals as we move, as Norvell and this team move forward. No, you're not dumping it on me.
I would
you're
never.
not dumping it on me.
But
For this particular team, 2022. It will be remembered more fondly because of that 10th win. And I'm happy for that because it was such a likable, fun team to cover.
Yeah, and one of the storylines coming into this game was, you look at these college football teams across the country, including the team they just played tonight. I'm unflappable. I'm not going to be bothered by that.
I know. And how do I miss you from a foot?
I'm not exactly a small target.
I know. I'm incredible.
The thing, the team they played tonight had a bunch of guys opt out. Florida State did not have a lot of guys opting out. And 2 of the guys that really were huge in this win, Jamie Robinson and Jared Verse, we don't know what their futures hold. I'm pretty sure Jamie Robinson's probably going to move on. Jared Verse, we'll see. But they played in this game. They played hard, and they were a big part of it. And then that moment with Justin Turnitime when he's on the cart.
Yeah.
This is a guy who
TV got that.
They did.
Okay, good.
And I'm glad they did because it was a really cool moment, and I think it just speaks to this team because that's not a guy, that wasn't Pokey Wilson, who's been here for 6 years or 7 years, who deserves to get some love because he came in here under Jimbo Fisher, stayed through Willie Taggart, stayed through Mike Norvell and 3-9 and all the other crap that's happened Jacksonville State, and he was part of the ugly loss to the end of the last season.
Yes.
He had some rough moments in that game. To come back and have some big plays in this game was really huge for him. But that moment, Justin Turnitime has been in this program now for 4 months, and there's so much conversation about, is the transfer portal sustainable? Because you bring these guys in, they're coming for 1 year, they're kind of mercenaries. Are they going to buy into the culture? Are they going to be part of your program? Jackson Turnitin has been here since August. Mike Norvell was very quick to point that out. It's been here 4 months, and you saw the way the outpouring of love, the entire team coming across the field to give him hugs as he's going in the locker room after his injury late in the game. And then in the locker room after the game, he's on crutches, celebrating with his teammates. It might be sustainable, man. When you have a good culture and you bring guys in, and if they believe in it, it's pretty special.
Especially when you're bringing in 8 to 10 and not 40. You know what I mean? Like the culture and swarms them, not them swarming the culture. So the culture's already ready-made. It's here for when all these guys that you're all excited about next year get here. They will be joining a culture, not creating one by themselves. But yeah, I thought that was a really cool moment, and we mentioned him briefly, but just a quick shout out to Jamie Robinson, man, because if this was his last game, my man every other player on the defense seems like they missed a game or two, or they were slowed for a game or two, or they didn't maybe practice all the time. Jamie Robinson's out there all the time. He is a competitor. He loves football. He was out there essentially by himself as a starter for a lot of this game.
And he had to go back to nickelback because they had to play the younger guys at safety because they lost Akeem Dent, and Shaheem went down also, right?
Well, no, the corners did.
The corners went down, so they had to move guys around, right?
So Jamie Robinson had finished with 13 tackles, a sack, a fumble recovery. I really think he had more tackles than that. I think they shortchanged him. I thought he had
2 sacks.
And I thought he had 2 sacks too. But either way, man, if that was his last game, I just want him to be appreciated. He's not an all-time great only because it's Florida State, man, but people will always remember him because of how instrumental he was for this program. I think he set a standard that all these young guys got to watch, and that's a standard you want to emulate. And I know Coach Norvell and Coach Fuller want those young guys to emulate somebody like Jamie Robinson, man. And he was a transfer guy here 2 years. And it maybe 3, but probably just 2. But, man, what a cool 2 years it was watching that dude play football.
You're really not going to pour those on your head?
I mean, I'd have to clean them up, man. Yeah. I don't want to. I mean,
it would have been a nice ribbon. That's all I'm saying.
Nope, they're not coming. They're not coming. Just one. There we go. Did we get that? Did we get the one? Here, I'll do it.
There you go.
I did it. Cheez-Its for everyone.
Signing off from Orlando. Next time you see us with a post-game wrap, guys, it's going to be right back here.
It's going to be here for LSU to maybe a top 10 matchup. Man, when's the last time we covered a top 10 matchup? The GOAT? Was it the GOAT? Was it Alabama, Florida State, Alabama?
Maybe this one will go better. For Corey Clark, Aslan Hadjavandi, Irish Shofel, we're signing off from Orlando. We're Florida State.
Signing off for the year.
10-3, baby. First time since 2016, 10 wins.